For many years, education and retirement represented two different struggles for thousands of Zambians. Poverty forced some learners out of school before completing their education, while many retirees faced uncertainty due to delayed pension payments and inadequate monthly benefits. Today, government is changing that narrative through laws aimed at protecting citizens and expanding opportunity. President Hakainde Hichilema recently assented to the Free Education Bill, the National Pension Scheme Amendment Bill, and the Public Service Pension Management Bill, turning key policies into law. In Choma district, the impact of these reforms is already evident. At Jundu Secondary School, a 48-year-old Kipet Swalatani is among 86 adult learners who have returned to school under the Open and Distance Learning Program after free education reopened the doors to learning. With the policy now backed by law, he believes the opportunity to complete his education is now more secure.
I stopped school in grade 4. From that time, just stay at the village until the time when the president introduced free education. I decided to go back to school. I'm in Form 1 right now. Today, when I hear the news that the president is making this law, this free education into law, I'm very excited. I know that from today onwards, I am going to complete my education.
His story mirrors that of many others, including a 38-year-old woman who restarted her education from grade 1. For her, turning free education into law provides assurance that the opportunity she has received will continue for years to come.
I dropped out of school many years ago and had given up on continuing my education. However, when I heard that the president had introduced free education, I decided to return to school and started again in grade 1. I worked hard and progressed quickly up to grade 7. I sat for my examination, passed and was selected to proceed to Form 1. I am very happy with this policy because it has given me a second chance to pursue my education and build a better future. For me, I dropped out of school in grade 7. Fortunately, when President Hakainde Hichilema came into office, he introduced free education, which gave me an opportunity to return to school. At that time, I could neither read nor write. I could not even read a text message and had to rely on my children to read messages for me. I went back to school and started again in grade 1. Through hard work and determination, I learned how to read and write. Later, I sat for my grade 7 examinations, passed and was selected to proceed to Form 1. I am grateful for the free education policy because it has transformed my life.
School authorities at Jundu Secondary School point to growing enrollment figures as evidence of the impact of free education, with more children, youths and adults returning to the classroom in pursuit of learning opportunities.
Before the introduction of free education, our total enrollment was 450 learners. Enrollment has gone up to 780 currently. The ODL classes, the open and distance learning class that we have, these are the people who had stopped school a long time ago. We have enrolled them. There are 86 learners that we have. With the signing of this free education bill now, we're expecting our school to receive more learners.
As government moves to secure the future of free education through legislation, Southern Province Education Officer Oliver Gambuli believes the law will protect gains already recorded and ensure that access to education remains available for generations to come.
As Minister of Education, we are very excited in that there is guaranteed access, especially to vulnerable children, to school. And this translates that more children will be in school. In 2026, we have 861,000 125 learners, translating into 51.5% increase in enrollment. This is a clear indicator that when now this is long, the benefit cannot be overemphasized. There is also a positive response to right to education by children. So now that is law, the right to education of children has been responded positively. All children will access school without any doubt.
Dr. Gambuli also acknowledges the significance of education to the country's workforce.
You realize that also through that, a good number of learners will be in school, isn't it? And you know education is the foundation for human resource or human capital. So we are guaranteed that the country will have a well-skilled manpower for future development.
Beyond the education sector, civil society organizations view the enactment of the Free Education Act as a critical safeguard for vulnerable children, particularly those from low-income households who are most at risk of being excluded from school.
Since the UPND government came into power in 2021, progressively we have witnessed very progressive laws being passed. And yesterday was a testimony where the provision of education is now law. It means that it's not a discretion of a president or any government in power at any given time. Whoever is going to become president after UPND they'll be obliged by law to provide free education for Zambians. What does this mean? It means that the millions of children who otherwise would have been on the street will now be guaranteed by law that they'll be in school. What does it mean to a poor citizen? It means that even when you are not able to afford to pay for your child in school, the law provides that your child will have government support to ensure that they can access quality education.
The legislation has also drawn praise from disability rights advocates who view it as an important step towards promoting equal access to education for all learners, regardless of their circumstances.
Persons with disabilities benefit from the free education program. If free education now has become law, it means that even when this government which introduced free education is out of power, it will remain even for future generations to benefit. Something which I don't see any other government that would come and seek to reverse this one.
Parents have also welcomed the move, describing it as a relief that has eased the burden of meeting school-related costs and expanded opportunities for their children.
I wish to appreciate the President for his courage and determination from the time he came into power, having worked hard to ensure that the free education policy is made into reality. And now it has been made into a law that cannot be manipulated by anyone who just wishes to oppose or who doesn't like the President naturally. Free education is going to help us parents to save more money into our pockets. That which we are supposed to pay as school fees now is going to get back to us. It's a double benefit for us.
While classrooms are filling up with learners pursuing new opportunities, retirees are also embracing reforms aimed at improving their welfare. For many pensioners, retirement was often marked by long waits for benefits and monthly payments that struggled to meet basic needs. Among them is Patrick Kamunu, who retired in 2012 and spent years waiting for his retirement package. The new pension laws have renewed confidence among many retired workers who believe their welfare is finally receiving the attention it deserves.
This pension bill that has been assented to will keep retirees to live even longer after retirement. Why? Because they have something to look to. Say now, at the end of the month, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to do this. Previously, we were being sent to death because money was not coming on time. I still remember when I retired. It took me 7 years before I could receive my money. But then the money that remained, pension-related funds, for the past that was about 12 years, I couldn't receive it. I received it after UPND ascended to power 2021, then 2022, January, February, I was given all the allowance-related pension money.
For retirees such as Pethia Silunga, who once survived on a monthly pension of just 900 kwacha, the reforms signal hope for a more dignified life after years of public service.
Since then, when I retired, the small package that I was receiving was 970, which was not enough to sustain myself. Then this plus which has come, it is a plus in our lives, because usually when one retires, is counted as dead and buried. But for this government to consider those that retired to be receiving such amount of money is a plus in our lives. All the retirees that will get this message or that are getting this message are appreciating so much to the government on what they are doing, because we are equally covered on what other people are being assisted by the government.
The pension reforms have also attracted support from disability rights groups who believe stronger social protection measures will improve the welfare of many vulnerable citizens.
We do have a lot of our members who have served government for some time now. But when it is law that they are supposed to have these partial withdrawals, then I do think it is something that is very, very welcome. It is something that will really help our community to also protect our members, because mostly persons with disabilities are subjected to a number of challenges. So if everyone else has been complaining about maybe delayed payment of their pension, then to persons with disabilities, this has really been more of a disadvantage to us because of various barriers and challenges that we face as persons with disabilities. So we feel now we are being cared for. In fact, before I thought of anyone else, I really thought like the president and the parliamentarians on this one. Maybe they looked at persons with disabilities. Because when you have worked so much and you retire, receive what you are supposed to receive for you to be helped to do whatever you are supposed to do.
Civil society organizations describe the pension reforms as among the most significant social protection measures introduced in recent years, aimed at restoring confidence in the country's retirement system and protecting workers beyond their years of service.
Now you have laws that allows the worker, before they can retire, they have access to pre-access to 30% of their total earnings or savings. It means that some of them can actually withdraw up to 30,000 kwacha and invest that money before they can finally retire into productivity activities. You would have seen the vulnerability levels that characterize our retirees, because they had to wait for a longer time before their monies were given to them. But now that is going to be history, because a few years before a person retires, they have access to their money up to about 30%. It means they can even invest their money into production before they finally retire. And this is how we are going to close the vulnerability route that consigned many of the retirees whose monies were not paid early enough. And these were basically prescribed as destitutes because they had to wait for their money. Some of them died even before their money came. But also you have a law that specifically addresses the needs of those who would have retired. Because now in the past, for example, they were getting up 1,200 kwacha, but now this amount of money has been raised 2,300 kwacha. This is the money a retiree is going to be receiving every month. So when you look at the basket needs, the cost of the basket needs in Zambia, it means that you are having to protect or a protection for this bracket of citizens called retirees who otherwise would have been struggling with affording some of their everyday needs. So these are social protection programs also that are going to be supported by law, by the Constitution. These are not laws that are sitting, they are sitting right in the Constitution of the Republic. So it means also now that we are now having services, public services that are protected by the Constitution. And so when people are arguing about human rights and to what extent human rights are protected by law, you can actually now see that we have transitioned from just having discretionary service provision by a government. Now you have laws for the Republic that have ring-fenced the services that these are social protection programs also that are going to be supported by law, by the Constitution. These are not laws that are sitting, they are sitting right in the Constitution of the Republic. So it means also now that we are now having services, public services that are protected by the Constitution.
For government, the reforms represent more than legislation. They are an effort to address long-standing challenges affecting ordinary citizens. In classrooms, adults who once abandoned their education are getting a second chance, while retirees who feared life after employment are seeing renewed hope. From education to pensions, the new laws are touching lives at both ends of the journey. For learners, they promise opportunity. For retirees, they promise dignity. And for many Zambians, they represent a future protected not just by policy, but by law.